I think the India economy is doing phenomenally well, as I would like to put it across. I think never before in last 3 to 4 decades we have seen this kind of growth momentum built into this country. So no questions asked on as far as I think the economic growth is concerned. And at the same time, the earning growth is concerned. India is going to be spending about $1.3 trillion in infrastructure in next 10 years' time. And that money coming into the hands of corporates for the execution of the business for them, ultimately reaching in the hands of individual and leading to higher amount of per capita income. So overall, the economy size, I think, is going to grow much bigger from $3.5 trillion to around 10 to $12 trillion by 2035-36. So if that is a situation that we are seeing, I guess I think the markets and the economy of India remains absolutely convincing. Maybe IT sector is going to get recovered in a while from now, I think in a couple of quarters.
But I've got to ask you on that front then, Deven, because, everything you're saying correct. It's undeniable that infrastructure impulse in terms of the amount of spending we'll have and the growth potential for India moving forward. But I suppose the sector that I would have the most concern over is the IT services sector, considering that it appears to be the most sensitive to the disruptive nature of AI in terms of employment outcomes. Do you think that there's you obviously have to separate, a company performance from, the impact of people perhaps not necessarily having a job, but do you think that there's going to be a significant impact to the employment in this industry, considering that AI can probably do the role of a lot of the workforce?
So for a couple of quarters, I think as we see it, I think it may be a situation where I think the new employment is not getting generated by the IT sector. That is quite possible. Including in the last quarter result of Infosys that they reported numbers, I think they have not added new employees. On the contrary, some employees they are allowed to leave. That is readjustment which is taking place. And I do agree with the assessment that AI would probably, I think, result into some amount of job loss, particularly at the lower end of the spectrum. Some job loss will be definitely seen. I think that is no question asked on that. But as the computing increases in the global market space, like after Fortune 500 companies, only 30% of the companies are still doing, I think, the cloud computing. In my viewpoint, I think once most of these companies are compelled to get into the cloud computing, the Indian IT services business is going to expand from here onwards. So maybe I think in the near term, yes, because of the European markets and the American markets, they are slightly cautious about spending money at this point of time. If they do start spending money at subsequent time for nothing else except for their survival, I would think that I think Indian IT companies and the service businesses, I think, would probably get higher orders, and that is where I think the things would turn around and look different. As of now, little cautious, definitely for sure.